All right, what's good, guys? I just wanted to hop on here and record myself as I study Peterbot's week 2 FNCS win. This isn't going to be some uber fancy VOD review. It's just going to be really quick, straight to the point, raw, from a pro perspective, and strictly for learning fast. With that being said, I may not be talking a lot throughout this, but that's the goal. It's just to learn as much as we can, as fast as we can, so I can get better as fast as possible. So let's get into it. All right, so I think he lands redline rig, but I'm not sure. I'm like 99.9% sure. The big thing for me when I'm watching these games is just to see what they might do on certain zones, right? So this is a center map zone. Of course, I land restored, right? So I already know where I'm at. This is me, right? We're chilling. I think we're getting forecast maybe. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so I already know what I would do here, but seeing it from a different perspective allows me to understand other people's routes in the game and how I can line up better to put myself in a position to hold Peterbot, or right, like something like that, right? So it lets me understand other parts of the map and what they might do. I'm gonna see if I can get multiple games in this, but if this is just maybe one game, we'll see how that goes. And then yeah, if you guys like this type of content and you guys want to see more just straight raw gameplay, raw VOD reviews, just like I said, just what I would do normally, let me know. So I'm assuming he's just gonna tag and trade with plants, right? Like he pulls a pretty decent south zone here, and with this spot is crazy. Like the control that he has in the bottom part of the map. I mean, he's got this entire area. I think he's on a slurp truck. Yeah, he's on a slurp truck. That's crazy. All this doesn't really pertain to me. Like I don't really need to know the route he's taking or how he's getting a surge, right? But he has 582 damage above, which is insane. Still has max heals. Of course, he has great ammo. And he's just sitting in zone. This is something that I've seen a ton of pros, and I mean across all regions do, is just play Storm. I mean, look at this. This is game 1. We've got Batman Booga doing it. I think they were in top 5 by the end of this. Peterbot obviously won the week. Tayson and Yamza would be doing this if it wasn't such a good zone for them. And then we've got, I think this is, yeah, Trashy and Muzz in zone here. Clicks and Vino in zone here, right? Like this is a very common thing because you can just use the tunnels to go straight in. So it looks like they do just that, keep their plants alive. And go to zone with max mats and good surge. Clear out the base. Leave the slurp truck is crazy. Smart as fuck. And it's a max pull, and this is why it's so good for them. Like they can just go straight to zone. Like this is like tunnel to the next tunnel to the next tunnel. You guys can see the route here. Boom, boom, boom. They're already in zone. They're about to just skeet straight across here. Fizz tunnel, basic, straight to zone, next, lands on Bert. Probably could have just scouted that and not have gotten hit, but they have a medallion, doesn't really matter. I mean, the distance they covered, I'm not gonna lie, is crazy. The distance they covered was like 10 blocks, and they're just minus 500 mats each, basically. And they're just saved by the coin for shield, or else they would be having, like, they'd have no shield right now. They'd have only Fizz. Minimal shield. Max full, just nitro it. So something that like I have been doing, which I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm the best team, but just like something that I've been doing myself is just on these longer rotates like this, just not using Fizz, which is this does somewhat reconfirm that it is a smart play. Like this is a big thing that I do at the pro level. I don't want to speak for everybody, but it's just like you use your concepts. Okay, Peterbot also does this. Okay, watch this next team. Okay, Vino and Clicks do this. Okay, watch this next team. Okay, so you know, like you can take your concepts and say, oh wow, this is something that maybe I didn't do this exact scenario because of, you know, ABC reason, but they did it, right? So not fizzing and just using nitro is smart from everything I've been doing, right? Like you're just gonna get fried a lot more when you're flying through the sky, but on certain rotates you want a nitro and fizz. It's just finding that exact timing here. So they don't use their fizz here, but they probably will on this next one. I'm honestly surprised that he's still running DMR. He probably picks up something else. Maybe not. They're just gonna go. They actually just unironically or unintentionally put themselves like on a right side of zone positioning. Like these guys are still here, but like they get a pretty free low ground rotate to the right. It's gonna look like. And this gun is just insane, bro. It is just ridiculous. Yeah. Just fizz front, make a bunch of space, look back. I mean, I've talked about this before, but just the confidence that Peterbot has with his ping, with the player that he is. Just, I mean, and when he gets into a flow, like he just takes out Booga, whatever, gets that refresh. The guy was weak, whatever. Comes here. Just the confidence that he has when he's able to play like this is just so insane. And the guns as well, like him having the coin was crazy, but like a gun like this is just able to just start a fight so easy and control the fight so easy. Just he's able to put down so much pressure. It's insane. There goes one more. But a big thing with that was just they just had low ground control. So just, I mean, I'm not gonna write that down, but it's just like cool. Low ground control. He just hits a crazy running shot on the trashy. Crazy. Doesn't scout, just runs. And then they just get enough mats. And like, yeah, you know what? Hey, 43 builds each. This is most definitely not a bad call. Like this is your second height. 43 builds each. I mean, you can look at height team. I think that maybe they saw that Bryce and them. Maybe Pollo saw that Bryce and them were fighting. I'm not really sure. But in general, like, I mean, if they didn't, even if they didn't see them fighting, we're about to just watch Pollo's perspective. It's like still knowing that you have 48 builds each. Yeah, like he's looking up right here. He sees that there's stuff going on in height. Probably sees the kill feed. Sees he can chop it out. So Pollo just scouts it for him. Oh yeah, let me just tarp ahead here real quick. All right, get situated. Get your mech kit off. This is just, I don't even want to say textbook. This is just like Fortnite 101. Like you just get a refresh. Okay, we have 400 builds each. Cool. And heights above us fighting, or they just fought, or they, you know, team went up, whatever the situation was. Like it could have still been braids and visuals on height. Here, obviously it's bolts and Bryce. But like, I mean, this is just what you want to do. Just pop your fizz and go for it. There you go. The big thing was, I mean, the timing of Bryce and bolts is just like, what are they gonna do? They just got fought for height, or they just took it off a team, which is cool, great. And another team just takes it off of them. They have really, really good math, so holy. Okay, so they might keep fighting for this, but we'll see. And I was about to say, I know it's a little bit of a different like timing and a different situation than what Bolts and Bryce were just in, but for the most part, like the reason we're about to see, but like they just actually give it up entirely. But like Bolts and Bryce just simply just tarping out just kind of made it easy for Pollo and Peterbot versus Peterbot and Pollo. You saw right when they took height, again, different situation. Not gonna say that that Peterbot and Pollo wouldn't have done this, but like we can look at it here and just get a better understanding of like what exactly happened. So they get shot out, whatever. Visuals dies to fall or something. So as soon as they get it, they have control. So they actually have control. Like they have it. They're not still fighting for it, and they're not still trying to, like, they're established by this point. Like they're looting the body. He's going for the scraps. Like they're good to go. So I think they messed up most definitely of just not just sitting in one layer, you know, whether it be like here and just building up and taking like, you know, just building a tower here. I'm not saying you have to build like 690s, but like right? Like their vision of control is double tarp out, you know, spam cone floor, no pressure, and like again, I've talked about this before. This is just Fortnite 101. Is just you spray. The more you spray, the teams below you, the more you can hold height by not spraying and just simply both reloading, draw here, take this, build this. Like, dude, just put pressure down. It's like that is like the ultimate stopping power, and they don't do that, and so Peterbot just goes up, right? So they had control, and you'll see when Peterbot and Poyo take control here in a second here, they get up, same layer, none of that bullshit where they're just tarping out. I know again, it's different scenario. They're not gonna tarp out here. Like it wouldn't make sense, but it's still the same like vision is like once you get on height, just build up and just look down. It's not like you. It's like everyone does this like stair tarp, right? This is the same kind of idea. Is like you're just on the same layer and you're high, so that way nobody can really take it from you unless they shoot you out or do a chop out. Again, it's like just taking the control there. And I'm sure now Peterbot just drops down. It's like again, same thing. You give Peterbot height, you give him confidence and refreshes, you give him the kills, you give him opportunity. It's like, dude, he's just gonna run through the lobby. So I'm sure he just plays typical right here. Just spray down, jump in, go for kills later, whatever. Yeah, cool. So big things from that game was just like holding height. Oh yeah, how am I gonna write this to myself? Let's see. Like, all right, just establishing height from one spot. Like get to a spot, build up from that spot, take it from there, hold it from there. Like just less tarping, right? So I'll put these notes on screen at the end so you guys can see them. So that was his win in game 3. I kind of want to watch his first 2 games and we'll see how those go. So establishing it. What I wrote from that again, it's not like something I haven't learned before. Like I'm watching these to learn something that is like gonna help me, you know, in my own games. Like I know that that's how I want to play on height. Like I know get on height, don't build out a lot. Like that's very fucking simple. So whatever, right? Still good to just reestablish the thoughts. Again, it's like I said that earlier in the VOD, is just you watch these games to verify what you're thinking and what you would do there is the right play. Or, you know, something like that, right? You just, oh, Peterbot does it, Queasy does it. Okay, then why would I, like what I'm doing is right then. You know, if it didn't work, that was execution. You know, that was the timing. But the idea is there. So they probably do the same thing. They just, let's see. They just tag, hold. Oh, they actually go. This is really interesting to see Agers and Rise just deep down here. Let's get that here. Actually, yeah. Also, something to know in pretty much every tournament minus the grand finals, like this is just something I want to share with you guys, right? It's like people aren't really doing what they would do in a grand finals lobby. Like Peterbot pushing this and doing what he did. Sure, maybe he'll do that, and maybe a part of that is true, right? Like, but he's probably won't just psycho the island like this. Like, does he really care? No. Like, really, this means nothing. There's no money on the line. He's already in uppers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't really matter what you do. Like, just have fun. Honestly, he's just a kid, right? Like, yeah, you want a key island? Sure, dude, let's key island. It's like Tayson and Yamzo, I'm sure, just like they're smarter doing. Like, ah, that's just, we don't need this. This is not the play, and they'll just probably run away after a certain time. I can't tell who's winning this, bro. It's just a wall grab, dude. Come on, guys. Also, the coin on island is just insane. This is like the OG medallions where they're just fully heal. Like, I mean, if you're out box fighting them, great. But at the same time, like, if you're trading damage, like, it's just never gonna be. You're never gonna win that, like, overall. Like, even if you're doing 150 to each, like, the guy's just gonna get shield over time, constantly, while you're having to burn all your shield. Like, Tayson's burning all of his fizz and his heals or whatever, and he's also having to heal while he's holding the walls, right? Like, so it's just. I'm not gonna put in my notes to like run away from Peterbot if he goes island, but just understanding that like if we do ever go into a fight where we know it's Peterbot, like just knowing that that's just the strengths of his coin, right? So nobody gets the island here; they just run away. They just fizz pad to zone. Easy. Wonder if the Taste and Yamza finally get it, but they're tanking now. I'm just curious what they. Fizz pad as well. Just go deep dead side. Oh, what am I doing? Here we go. And we go back to Peterbot, and he's. Oh no, we're good. I thought he was jumping on somebody. This is their game one. I gotta remember. Right, could have fizz nitroed, but just regular fizz or regular nitro does the job. Oh my god. In general, though, like again, I mean, it's not something I don't know, so I'll say that I'll say that again. But it's like them going for the island wasn't like the worst play in the world. They got decent surge from trading with Yamzo. Obviously, they're confident in their abilities, and the pad just took them to a perfect spot. Like they were just able to get ahead and stay ahead. Like it probably put Yamzo and Tayson in a better spot if we look at like their mats, like 87 and 66 versus a team that kind of waited on the island and was able to go last and get deeper. Like they're a little bit more stacked and in a better position, probably have a bit more heals. But still though, I mean they played this game great so far. I don't know what this zone does. Pulls max, wow. Crazy. They just rotate and just straight through it. I guess we're just not doing anything. I guess we have a med kit and one AR bullet. This is a great thing. Again, this is just reestablishing just the ideas that I already know, right? Just using your ramps to get elevated, and then you can just nitro jump off or nitro jump dash, fizz off. Like there's a lot of combinations you can use to just climb up. It's better to do this than to build a floor across or cones across or even just to run where chimp is, right? So cool, whatever. And they have the opportunity to play height if they really want, but their mats are a little shambles. Again, the coin is just so insane. Like just to know that, like, oh yeah, no worries. Like here, take the coin back to 75 HP. Like, oh, no big deal. You made a bad rotate. Cool. I know like a lot of people talked about Peter and Poyo not going to like Nitrodome when the bow was in the game, and like that was most definitely what I thought at the moment was like a misplay. And obviously maybe I mean like probably everyone could have predicted that bow wasn't going to be in the game. Like that thing was just too insane. But at the same time, like the spot they have is insane from what I've just seen off of their off spawns the last 2 games. They get great surge, they have great positioning, great loot, but like the coin is just, they're a very smart team, but like just like any team that's very smart as well, like you're gonna have some rough rotates, and the fact that they can just constantly keep that shield up is just insane. Like, oh, no big deal, dude, just run on this wood ramp and like, oh, you get fried, okay, no big deal, just don't die, you know, in here, get your coin and call it a day. So here they probably, I was about to say they probably fizz nitro, but They just don't. I don't know about that, but whatever. Monkey think zone, monkey run zone. Monkey Peterbot, bro. Oh no. Poyo got fried. Here, take the coin. Oh, you already have it. GG's. So, I'm just confused because they weren't that shambles. Like, this isn't great. Like, 30-30, whatever, but like, this isn't the world's worst situation, but they just got even worse. Like, they are still gonna need to fight for a refresh, but the ways they did it, it just doesn't make sense. I don't understand why. I know height's looking, but like, I don't understand this as the option here. I feel like if I was to replay this and I was in their shoe, I would just stop here. Like, you know, this is a dead space. Like, you know that nobody's here, and you can use your visual audio, like, to tell that. Just stop like here, right? Like below this team. You know, like this is unboxable. Like nobody's sitting in this cone, this metal floor, right? Just take that and then you can avoid height now. Now they're like out of LOS, and you can just go below them. You can chop this team out. You can ramp up and go under height. You could go around left here. Like, I think left side is still very much the play. It's just, it is less players, and they're just going straight in the middle. And again, they weren't shambles. Like right now in this exact pause, like they're not that shambles. They can just go to the left side and like tarp it out and they could easily get to the front, tarp out this entire zone, or like run through, right, old builds, whatever, rotate through the entire zone and still have like 20 builds each. And they're still good enough to, if they get near a team, like if a team gets near them rather, they can still just win that fight. Like they can just take a box fight and win it. But like, I don't understand why they'd go up the middle here. It's just straight in the middle. Now they're getting sprayed. 200 builds each. I guess you just go to the middle. I mean, we'll have to see exactly what they did. Forget. I guess he sees Rapid get fried. Like, maybe that's the play. Yeah, so he just sees Rapid gets fried. I mean, maybe that's just my brain just not like being as smart as Peterbot or something. Like, go center zone, see who gets fried, jump on them. Like, okay, maybe that's a strategy. It's not a horrible idea if you're like shambles and you're as good as Peterbot is, right? Like, they're gonna win a lot of fights. They're 0 ping. So, I mean, if Poyo doesn't get pumped there, which again just he doesn't have to rotate like that. Like, he could have just definitely not have gotten Poyo pumped, or Poyo could have built a little bit to not get pumped. Like, that is a big moment. And like, this definitely is something I talk about a lot. It's just those little micro things of like, okay, you're going through the game. It's like, you need this one refresh. If you get hit a lot right here, or like, let's say this rotate's about to happen and you're like ready to go and you get fried right before, it's like that little minor thing. It's like, not like you needed the shield. You can pop your shield. And, you know, maybe you had the time to pop your shield as well. It's just like, that might throw you off and you might get you focused on more people, or it can just lead to a lot more. So it just makes it messy when you get fried here. But they end up getting a refresh here. Again, they're still like not horrible, but just the ways they've gone through this to get in this scenario has just made them even more shambles. I mean, we can look at the left side here. It's like, imagine they went left side. These guys, Vert was like, they were around them. These teams were around them. They could have probably been where Yamzo is. Don't know what's going on here. But they probably could have gotten to the side with their mobility, like very, very easily. And then box up. All right, ready? Zone pulls. Okay, let's jump in this guy's box. He gets cracked. Like, you can find a better opportunity later on, but maybe that's not their philosophy. Maybe they just want to find it early. Pop Nitro. Try to go up left here. There's a duo on the walls there. Oh, it was dead zone. Never mind. And they're just running through the box. And Peterbot somehow is still alive. Was this Nitro when it was busted? I think it was, right? Was this? I don't remember. I don't know when they changed Nitro. I don't think it was. I think this is post nerf. I don't think he gets any points for that, but he kills one guy. He just lurks and kills a guy. I mean, yeah. If we go back in the game and look at it back, it's just They had decent mats earlier, like when they came from the rift. They were still great mats. They rotated. They lost a good amount on that rotate. That was kind of this road right here. It was like this. They rotated like this, stopped around here, then went, fought a guy, then kind of went up here and built a box. It's like then they still had decent mats. It's not like you can play. It's not like you can't play with 30 builds each. It's not like you can't do something with 30 builds each. You're obviously not going to win the game with those mats alone, but like it's not like that's an uncommon scenario to be in for any of these teams. And so I don't know. Their rotate in the middle there just doesn't really make sense to me. So obviously that wasn't a good game from them, and I think that they would agree with the points I'm making. It's like doesn't really make much sense why they would rotate through the middle. I don't know. Peterbot brain needs to be studied. It needs to be studied. Can't lie. But what did they do good that game? Let's see. What could we have possibly taken from the game? I'm lost for words here. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think there's anything they did good that game. Obviously, it was a horrible game. 12th place or something. Maybe okay. Yeah, I got you, Peterbot. You did good killing players fast. Like you really killed Kylie quick there. All right. So okay. So they get some surge. I don't really know this part of the map like at all, like plants wise. Like I don't know exactly. I know there's this down here, but like I don't know that like these are here. Obviously they do, so they're just playing these hills. They've also probably have been in this scenario and been against this scenario, and this is just like insane to see. Like this is just like that ridge line's good, this ridge line good. Like these sand ridges are insane. Like I literally don't get to experience this because I don't ever get down here to do this. Like if I'm ever down here, it's later in the game and you don't even play the ridges because there's builds all around you, right? But oh my god. Okay. So we get some surge off spawn and on edgy. They just keep controlling this bottom part of the map because they have the surge. They can. They tunnel. Go to the next tunnel, tunnel. Well, they build a base on this tunnel. Some extra damage on Vino in them. Not a bad idea. I mean, they already have great surge. And there's plants all around here. I think there's like 1 or 2 plants below them. There's definitely one. Yeah, one below them. Yeah, 2. So there's tunnel, plant, trade, just like every other team in the sand biome. And you kind of have to be doing this. Like, this isn't really an undiscovered idea, but like it's the desert biome. There's plants everywhere. It's like if you don't trade with plants, other teams are trading with plants. Surge is really high this season because of that. And like you just got to keep it going. You got to put yourself on a plan if you can. So they do just that. A little base. Get the refarm back. 555. Wait for zone. It's just crazy, bro. This medallion is just insane, bro. Like, it's literally just a plant on your character just constantly. Like, oh yeah, let me trade with this team. Oh, they hit me, no big deal. Let me wait 5 seconds, get my HP back. Oh wow, they pull zones. Crazy. I was wondering that. I was wondering if they were going to go deeper here because they could, right? But they just have the tunnel to take them either direction, so it makes sense. I think I would have done this exact same thing. I definitely would have done this exact same thing. But just to question the idea, like maybe there's something I don't know, and maybe they should go deeper here because they can hit that tunnel. I don't really know, like what the possible answer could have been, but it was a pretty obvious choice here just to sit on the tunnel. Sit, hold, pop your fizz. Hit the tunnel, hold S, land, dead side, boom. tunnel? Wow, they're gonna hit the tunnel. It's not a bad idea. Get some in the zone. Boom. The one thing I'm curious about, and this might just be simply because they didn't have great loot options. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is something that I need to look deeper in, but like carrying multiple medkits isn't a bad idea, but it is surprising that they both have medkits. It makes plays like what they just did easy and like unthinkable, like or unquestionable. You just hit the tunnel. We've got 6 medkits, cool. And like I mentioned earlier in this, like playing tunnels from the south side of zone is important. Like you want to be able to just play zone and hit a tunnel and take you straight to zone. So it does allow them to do that if they need, but so just pop nitro box, nitro box, nitro box. They get the refresh, max mass. I mean, this is the exact position that you'd want to be in. And like, I think if they were to watch this game back, or if they were to watch this game back, or if they were to be here, like this is like, I don't know when they die or how they die here. We'll see. But like, dude, you have 63 builds. Yeah, he's looking right at height. Like, you're about to go for height. Like 100%. This is like no questions asked. They're about to send height. I mean, we can go to these maps up here. 57, 29. It's like even at that, like you have high ground advantage already, but it doesn't matter. Like, I think also too, something that is worth to point out there, it's not like a crazy concept, but Peterbot's obviously very mechanical. They both are, but the control that he has with Nitro is definitely something to practice. Like, of course, right? If you're very mechanical and you can do it, it's like he's probably able to do it without even thinking about it, and he's most definitely hasn't even practiced it. He's just that consistent with his mechanics. But for most players, it's like Nitro can throw you on a loop, right? Like you can be very inaccurate with your movements because it can sling you so far kind of at like a random notice, right? But he's very smooth with it, doesn't waste builds, doesn't fall off. Because like, again, it's the little things, right? He might fall off, still drop down and still take high ground and still win the game. Like, but this just makes it easier. If he doesn't fall off, you know, the small little build piece, you know, if he doesn't miss that, he's good. So actually, they do jump off here and they just go front and look up. They have the best air in the game. Here, he should just be... Oh, Poyo's actually flanking. Oh, Poyo fell too far. Wait, what happened? But here, he should just be calling me like, yo, Poyo, just hold my builds. Let me just spray the shit out of them with this insanely fast shooting AR. This is the original build fight from Poyo's perspective. I think he was just unsure where he wanted to go. Damage on falling, it's always important. They just... Oh my god. I mean, I think there is a great example of just the micro things. Is like, if they were able to just take high ground from these guys easier or quicker, or if they had like a slightly better movement or were able to do a certain like side jump or whatever, it's like that's the game win right there. Like now this team and probably Peterbot and Poyo are just grief. Now you've got Rise, you've got Batman Booga looking up. Like it's like you had the second there where maybe Peterbot and Poyo could have taken it, but now they just have to give it up. Like other teams are looking for it. They're doing the thing. Now they're gonna go for a refresh here. They get it. Poyo goes down in the process. They don't even get the full kill. And now he probably just plays medkits. Yeah. Sit on medkits, play it. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, so just like, I mean, they had the opportunity to go for height. I want to watch the height exactly back, but like also this too, just like he has the medkits on. He's good. What happens? He just mantles to get, he mantles and picks up loot and tries to build, and just, I don't understand why, but okay. And he loses because of that. Let's just imagine he's popping his medkits here. Also, he probably could have just walked around like, oh, jumps up here like, oh yeah, I see some loot through here. Okay, let me just go, see what this is. I've got one medkit left of timing, right? Keep that HP going. Oh, it's medkits. It's one more. He got one medkit out of that. I'm like 90% sure, unless I'm tripping. Or like, let's just imagine he was able to pop those medkits, right? He would still be alive right now. Top 8. I think he died 12th, if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, he's probably still popping it right now. He probably pulls a top 6 or top 5. There's a lot of players left. This is like, he died very early on, right? But like, that's a couple more points, right? Like, that all matters. But let's see this height thing. Let's just see. So this is the Vino kill. So it's right here. Because they have a lot more mats than the team on height. And they're a great team to be PGing height or to be the ones PGing height. So let's see. Let's see how a great team like this can not take high ground off of a not so great team in Reciprocal and G Money, who are also way more shambles and lower mats and all that. It's just that, right? Like, just going up. I mean, you have to be quick with it. I get it, but like, yeah, just, I guess skulls too. What the fuck? Like Peterbot or Poyo just falling below. It's just, honestly, looking at this, I think it's like, I don't know. Just play both angles. Like, Poyo goes right, Peterbot goes left. It's probably smarter to be together. It's always smarter to be together, right? But like, maybe in this scenario with Nitro, with the way it works, it's either you let one person go ahead of you, like Peterbot, like, okay, I'm following you, and then you're just right behind them. Maybe that's the play. It's just they both kind of ran up at the same time. It's like now Poyo is like delayed while Peterbot is making first contact. Let's see though, 50 on him. I mean, yeah, they just really couldn't get a chop here. Yeah, they just couldn't get a chop. That's crazy. This team just went up faster. Let's watch it from their perspective, because this is an unexpected take. I think this also kind of shows what we watched before. Like, not to say this is a one-to-one scenario, but like, you can see how Reciprocal and G Money, I mean, they caught it early, pretty early, right? Like, but they weren't like cone flooring out, right? They weren't making much space. They had a pretty similar layer and a pretty similar like he was just right above G Money, a couple layers up, right? My boy G Money is just cranking 90s. Like, he's just cranking 90s, bro. I love to see it. It's not a bad strategy. Just crank 90s, just go up. G Money is the reason why they don't continue to go up. 7 builds on G Money, 27 on him, 79 and 44, and they give it up with that. $73 and 42 is still a crazy amount. Like, you have that, you're still gonna look for height, which they obviously tried to. I think it was just a rush. And it's kind of like Peterbot's like kryptonite of like, he just doesn't like pre-plan anything or like look ahead for a second. Like, he just opens the wall and runs out from like, at least the perspective of the replay. Maybe he just knew that there was old builds there ahead of time. Maybe he pre-commed that. We don't really know. Maybe there's a YouTube video already out of this. Probably, we can see exactly what he was saying. But like, he's just here. He's like, okay, we got to give this up. Nobody looks out the wall. He just opens the wall and runs. And then it's all like quick reaction metal. Like, in the second while he's flying, he's talking about where he wants to go. It's like, dude, it just takes, it's like the zone's not even on you. Like, you've got a full box of time to just look down and be like, oh, we want to go here. They would have got it 100% if they just were a little bit more patient, because this is a big thing. Like, Poyo falling all the way down. Also, I don't know why he didn't catch himself. Like, this is also a huge part of the game. It's like just catch yourself, land with Peterbot. Even on a quick reaction, it's still possible to you know, see that and get to that. And then, you know, Peterbot's here as a solo. They have no mats, like pretty much no builds. They've got 11 each, like 10 builds each. Like they have so many more mats than them, so much more firepower. I guess these guys both have pretty decent spray weapons, but still, it doesn't really matter. Like you're going against a team with a mythic AR below you, and you just can't do anything. And this drains his 44 builds down to 25 builds, and then this drains Poyo's 70 builds down to 48 builds because he's trying to get up back to him. Like this is just like right here, 30 builds gone because Peterbot just didn't scout that. And like that's just Fortnite 101. I don't know what the I can tell you. Like that is literally just why did they not scout? Like why did they not just take 2 seconds to look where they wanted to go and plan it, and they would have had it. And then I mean, of course, like you can look at the other teams that were going to go for it. You've got Batman, Booga, and Rapid back here. You've got Rise and Agers looking up from this angle. It's like everyone's going to be looking up at height. But it's kind of the dude. I'm not gonna lie, Batman, Booga, and Rapid are just lurkers in the back. They're just always somehow lurking. Very curious to see what they do here. But like, what I wanted to say is just a lot of these teams weren't established for. Like Rise and Agers aren't like in a premier position to go for height. Like maybe if they were, this isn't a bad spot. I mean, it's really not too bad, but like a couple layers up, right, or 1 layer up, I guess, to be the second height team gives you a bit more control. Like these guys are kind of on this layer, but they're in the middle. Right, like you can see how this isn't really a premier position to go for height, right? Like if they were front, maybe up 1 and like with a stair, this is like, you know, they can take it right here and stop Batman Booga from even looking at it, and they can just have it. And they saw it early on too, which is good. But either way, like Batman Booga and Rise aren't in a premier position to go for height, but because they messed up, they were able to get into that position to go for height. Like you'll see here in a second, like Rise builds up, Batman Booga and them start looking for it. Again, these guys have really good mats too. This is definitely a team that I want to watch. Batman Booga and Rapid have been going crazy this season. So I'm probably going to do some games on them just to see what they're doing. And they see another team goes for it. Yeah, they just take it because this, I mean, yeah. It's kind of like whoever picked it first, Agers or what's it called? Whoever got it first would have got height. And that's the crazy timing in Fortnite. It's like they both were in pretty good positions to look for it. They both were looking for it, and it's just they just looked for it 10 seconds before them. And now they have height, and now they win this game, I think. I hope. Let's just play this game. I want to see what happens. These guys still have good mats. They just run through a team, kill Kwani, get back up a layer. 43 builds, 23 builds, still good mats. Oh my god. Boy's in it. 70 builds. Batman Booga's playing medkits. It's not a bad play. It's like, if you have good whites, they just play the whites, secure the top 2. I'm going to go crazy. Rapid's going to go do that. He kills Reet, gets the top 4. Right now, he can probably just keep doing his thing. I think he probably dies here. Batman Booga's just going to play for top 2. Does he get top 2? Let's see. But top 3, that is a great way to play the game. You just tarp it out, get your med kits, play zone. Eventually, everyone else who's here fights, dies. You get top 3, sitting in zone. It's pretty common. But yeah, Rise and Agers look to be winning this game. Yeah. So they just look height and look at it at the right time. And Peterbot and them fuck up heavy. And this this would have been Peterbot's win for sure. He would have won 2 games, would have had a way bigger lead. And that's it. All right. Well, that is all we're gonna do today. I'll go over the 3 notes that I have, and it's just okay. I'm gonna switch my screens here and just go through the notes. I don't really like this. Isn't really how I would take notes. Also, like, taking notes is important, but on that same note, like, what I watched was so quick. I know we spent 50 minutes going through 3 games, but if I didn't really learn anything, like if it just reestablished my concepts, it's not like I need to write that down. Like, I knew what everything was going on, and that was something that I would have done. That's what I would have done instead, right? So, like, it's not something where I was like, oh my god, Peterbot just hit a side jump and triple dash to height and he got it. Like, okay, if I learned that, like, okay, I'm gonna write that down, put that in a Discord, send it to my teammate, make sure he's aware of it. But like, I really didn't learn anything other than to confirm the things that I would have already done. And that is a big part of watching these games yourself, is like, you can like theory test, or you can, see what they would do, and if they do it exactly what you would have done, then there you go. So things we wrote down from the 3 games would be establishing height from one spot, less tarping out, more spraying down / control from one spot above, right? So we watched that in game 1 where he just went up and tarped out. It was Bryce and Bolts. They just tarped out, and Peterbot and them just took it for them, right? Easy, boom. Right, so just more pressure from Bryce and Bolts would have probably stopped Peterbot, and it would have been the same scenario that we just watched from the last game. Like, if they saw it, just like G Money and them saw it, they would have gone up and had it, and same scenario, right? Then obviously G Money and them lost the game. If you ever get griefed like that on height, the chances that you win that game as G Money and reciprocal, I think, is so low, because everyone else sees you doing that, and it's so low. Like, Rise, there's so many good teams that are looking at height. Rise, Rapid, Vino, and Clicks. Like, dude, everyone's doing it, just looking up and just waiting for a team like Peterbot to do what he did and just take advantage of it. And that's going to happen a lot. And in a 12-game format grand finals, like, that's going to happen probably half the games, if not more than that. Like, where teams are just griefing on height, and you just find that timing and go. Or a team just finished the fight, you find the timing where he's tarping out like Bryson Bolts, you just go. Boom. You have the mats, makes sense. It's like, you kind of have to make those plays if you want to get through and have a good performance. So that was game 1. And then practicing nitroing and free building was up in the last game, just to make sure that me personally, I have more control when I'm nitroing. Because if I do call that play, I want to be confident that, hey, this is how this works. Obviously, I know how nitro works. I know you can slam into walls. I know it's kind of fragile when you are, like, you got to be careful you don't accidentally hit your own walls when you're running up, because it will just stop you, and it's very annoying. Right? So it is definitely important for me to just hop in creative and try to free build with nitro constantly. Just get more control in it. Be able to hit a side jump with nitro, or be able to just ramp up and do a quick, side jump with a nitro, or whatever, right? Like, just being able to have control in it and know that, like, when I do it, I'm confident I can execute it. That's a big thing. And then scouting or rotating on that final height thing was very important for Peterbot, and he didn't do it. So just reestablishing and telling you guys, like, that's important to scout before you go, so you have a plan, so you can actually execute a plan. And I wrote down, because Peterbot doesn't scout when dropping for height, he basically loses the chance to get it completely. Which is exactly what happens. Because he didn't, he lost a chance. So that's it. Yeah, we'll wrap it up here. It's definitely went a little longer than I thought it would. I honestly thought I was going to do like 1 game and see how it went, but I was just more interested to see what happened, because I didn't really learn anything. Like, I thought maybe I would learn something crazy from 1 game and be like, boom, that's a video. I helped you guys, help myself, and then we can do this more in the future easily. But I was like, yeah, I didn't get anything, so let me watch the next game. No, didn't really get anything either. Let me watch the next game. So I just didn't really learn anything. Not to say that you guys didn't learn anything. If you guys learned something, let me know. Or let me know what you did learn. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this. If you stuck around to the end, I appreciate you. I'm grinding for you guys, man. I'm pushing out content. I'm trying to help you guys as much as possible. I will say this. I feel like there's not a lot of you guys watching this exact moment right here. But if you are, I just want to advertise discord.gg/thesis. It's the Ceice Thesis Discord. It's my Discord. It's where I run all my educational stuff out of. I've been doing a thing. Tomorrow is actually going to be my 3rd time doing it. It's the Tuesday Thesis. Every single Tuesday, 2 p.m. CST, hop in the Discord. I'm answering questions live. I'm watching your games live. Like, your games for free. Your questions for free. That sounds really weird to say, but like, I'm helping you guys out directly in the Discord. So If you're not in there every Tuesday, if you can't find the time, I don't know what to tell you. If you somehow miss it, you miss a week, whatever, or you know whatever happens, you can't show up. It's all up. It's all posted to YouTube. There's already been a video that's been released previous to this video. It's already out there. So all the Tuesday thesis will be continued to be posted on YouTube, so you can always watch it after. And yeah, all right. I appreciate you guys, and yeah, have fun grinding. Later.